At the Eastern Cape, Department of Rural Development and Agrarian Reform says a small-scale piggery farmers in the province will suffer a great deal due to the African swine flu that has hit some parts of the province. The province has confirmed 4 cases of the disease in the Nelson Mandela Bay, Bartman and Amathole Municipalities. The department says preventing the spread of this disease for small-scale farmers is a massive challenge, as they do not have proper infrastructure to keep their pigs in enclosed pig houses. Now, let's discuss this further. We're now joined by Peter Cloete, President, Agri Eastern Cape. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. So just talk to us about how severe this situation is on the ground. And I mean, as we've heard there, that, you know, this is especially affecting small-scale farmers.
Yes, Unati, we've got major problems. The commercial areas are very well covered and have very good biosecurity. The problem that we have is that it's the informal industry where all the issues lie, predominantly in the townships. There are no bylaws anymore. There are pigs free ranging everywhere, and we are sitting on a ticking time bomb. This is not the first outbreak, and it certainly won't be the last until they start putting bylaws in place and bringing in proper biosecurity.
And how does that impact, you know, the rest of the country in terms of, you know, certain bylaws that are not introduced, as you say? I would imagine that would then spread to other areas.
It does. If it's not controlled, it certainly will spread. So we need to close it down completely. They need to. Unfortunately, the only way to do it in the infected areas is actually to destroy the animals. The commercial industry is very strict at biosecurity. You and I would not be allowed in there for a visit. That is how strict they are. You can understand it's a multi-billion rand industry with huge export markets that they just cannot afford to jeopardize.
Just talking about that market, you know, what is the possible impact then of this outbreak on the prices of pork products?
Unfortunately for the pork farmers, the price can't come much lower than it is at the moment. They're really battling. There's huge downward pressure on all meat, the whole meat chain at the moment, and particularly pork. With the economy being tight, people are not spending money. I think it's pretty obvious if you walk into any butcher shop or into any shop. So it is vital in terms of the longevity of the industry, and for the pig farmers that we get this under control ASAP.
What's also vital, you know, from what I'm hearing you say, and of course the department saying that it's important that farmers get training, especially training that will prevent this outbreak from happening in the first place. To what extent do you think that will help, you know, in small-scale farmers, and to what extent do you think the department is actually being proactive around that?
Nadia, as you know, a lot of the government departments are not fully functional at the moment. It's a reality. It is where we are. And it's one thing to put things in place and have structures in place, but you need it to be enforced.
And exactly that, you know, so what are the other farmers saying, particularly the ones that belong to your organization? I would imagine that there is some form of fear in as far as cross-contamination is concerned, if that is, in fact, the reality that we are looking at.
Sorry, Onati, could you repeat that? There's somebody breaking through on the signal while we're talking.
Peter, my question basically is there a lot of concern from other farmers that are operating, particularly in the areas that we've just mentioned in the Eastern Cape, that are worried about a possible cross-contamination?
Oh, yes, you can well imagine there will be, because it is catastrophic. The only way to do it is to physically cull the animals. And, you know, genetics don't come cheap, and then you start from day one, and it could be 18 months before there's food on the table again. So this has got huge ramifications.